and anyone else who was involved. That's when I need to let that go. There's a period in my life when up in an upward direction, my accomplishments and hard work of my entire life were beginning to mean something. Then Dylan was released from prison. So when you ask why it always goes back to him, that's why. I never experienced anything even remotely close in any way to the hatred, condemnation, stalking, harassment, pain, and abuse that I've experienced since his release. I've never gone to the court system and asked for a court date and not been permitted to see a judge. I've never filed a police report and had the police tell me, fuck you, we're not doing an investigation. None of these things. Prior to April of 2019, none of these things have ever been an issue in my life. So what has changed? What is different? Why are there pockets and periods of calmness, support, and progress, followed by extensive periods of intense harassment, sometimes physical, aggressive situations? I was walking at Whole Foods, walked into the middle of the street. Some lady starts beeping. I was in the crosswalk, surprise, surprise. Some lady starts beeping, tells me, quote, "You doing too much." I turned back around and said, "Maybe you're not doing enough." Just like that. Walked into Whole Foods. I turn around to check if Xavier's behind me. Xavier's not, but that woman is, slapping the shit out of me with security standing right there. How many violent attacks are going to be taken against me for no fucking reason before you people intervene? How many times are you going to let people put hands on me before someone does something? You know how many times I've slapped someone? None. I've spanked my kids before. Never have I slapped anyone. Never have I stabbed anyone. Never have I attacked someone violently. I'm not an animal. I'm a grown-up woman. I know how to speak and articulate. Where am I? Who lives like this? 4 years. It's like I drew this little picture in my notebook, right? Of this cycle. This is the roller coaster that they take me on over and over and over, like almost daily, right? I wake up sad. I miss my children, but hopeful. What do I have going for me? I'm building brand. I'm building business. I'm raising awareness. I'm being a good person through my brand. My messages through the brand have value. They're supportive to others. There are other people who can relate to the things that I've gone to, right? So sad but hopeful. Then they start fucking with me and I get, a little perturbed. My feathers are ruffled, pardon me. Then I get to trying so hard. Can't take it anymore. That's when I start cutting myself. So they'll say stuff like, I have your whole family. The reason you haven't been able to communicate with your family is because I am holding them all in a wall, in a building, in caskets. They can't move. If you want to talk to them or see them, you have to sleep with me and 6 of my friends first. Will you do it? That's the type of badgering these people are following me physically around, threatening my family, saying that they've harmed my family and children, saying all these tormenting things. Then they start stealing our funding for food. So I'm already sleeping outside. You've robbed me of every single item that I've ever had in my existence. Understand, I come from a middle-class background. My mom is a C-level executive, always has been for a large company. And when she wasn't, she worked 2 jobs. She worked waitressing and in the office. Thank you. So I come from this background where I've never been handed anything, but support is there, right? How do I get to where I am right now? How do I get to where I am right now, looking around, unable to reach my mother? For 4 or 5 months, I've not been able to reach my mother by phone. My youngest child, Alexis, I've not been able to reach by phone for 40 days. 40 days. Do you know how many times I've cut myself or self-harmed prior to Dylan's release? 0. You know how many times I do it now? Almost at least once a month. Every time that we start reaching around 35, 40 days with no contact with my children, and I truly can't take it anymore, and I'm hungry and I've been starved out all day, and chased down the street and stalked and harassed, and my fourth or fifth social media account's been removed, and my dissertation on PTSD from a personal experience has been rearranged and rewritten or deleted entirely, and everything that I've worked on and invested in is just gone, then I start cutting myself. Do I want to die? Absolutely not. If I have to live like this for the rest of my life, do I want to die? Yes, please. Yes, please. No one should have to live this way. And I'm talking murderers, pedophiles. I tell Xavier all the time, if someone is a murderer or pedophile and we can't get them to stop harming others, just put them in an 18-wheeler and drive it off of a cliff. End their suffering. You don't hold them in purgatory. End their suffering. If someone is unrepairable in the way that they are harming others, get rid of them. I manage to exist every single day harming no one, focusing solely on building my projects and my children, my own wealth, my family's health and wealth and abundance, and in an effort to not cause anyone any sort of harm or pain or be in anyone's way. What more can I do than that? The way you're treating me is murderers, pedophiles don't deserve to be treated the way that I'm being treated. And I'm just a single mom of 3 trying to raise my children. When I discuss these things so candidly and truthfully and honestly, and the response is nothing but go kill yourself, bitch, you're ugly, you're a drug addict, you're an abuser, which I've never been any of those things. All I can do is, like I just said, self-harm. And I'm going to tell you why. That's because every coping mechanism that I have, work out, go to the gym, put music on, distract yourself, read your novel, right? Do your hair or makeup. That's the way I deal with my anxiety in a healthy way. They don't allow for it. They do not allow for it. They put me in a corner where I'm quite literally bound and gagged and being abused, and they don't even let me go to the fucking gym to cope. That's when I self-harm. Not just I can't deal with sadness or I don't know how to cope like a normal adult. No, honey, no. I'm far more emotionally intelligent than most adults. I don't know another adult. I don't know a member of the United States Marine Corps who could survive what I've been through. I don't know anyone who has been beaten, targeted, had their apartment flooded. Let's talk about this. When we talk about my family and how hard my mother had to work. My mother worked 2 jobs. My father worked a full-time job for streets and sanitation, came home after work to take care of my sister and I, while my mother worked a full-time job and then also worked Sundays. Okay, so both of my parents worked full-time or more my entire life. My father also had a second job at a press company, driving a bus to take people to the train station and back. So both of my parents were employed with 2 jobs, and they worked very hard, incredibly hard, to give me the little that I had. What did I have? Little things like costume jewelry, name brand clothing like Guess, BB, DKNY, nothing. I wasn't walking around wearing Louis Vuitton, but we had nice clothes, bags, purses, jewelry, makeup items. What happened to all of that? Why do all I have now, why is everything I own now able to fit into 2 large suitcases? But no one's paying restitution on all that? The state of Illinois made a deal with Dillon Smith, and in doing so, they refused to or could not protect me. Somewhere in that process, everything I've worked for, been gifted, been given, earned, created, has been taken from me. I've also been separated from my children. Law enforcement has refused to address the situation in any way. The last time I was sexually assaulted and went to the law enforcement and reported it, I was arrested. I had to bond out for $400. Detective Rojas from Lombard PD, one of the reporting officers where I gave the report for the rape, I called less than 4 months ago for the millionth time, was told, quote, there has been no investigation conducted. but I'm supposed to feel like my existence is worth something. I'm not supposed to feel completely degraded, dehumanized, used, abused, exploited. My own lawyer told me we had a case. Less than 24 hours later, met me in a discreet location to tell me, quote, Heather, you are in danger. You should flee the state of Illinois. That was in 2020. Nick Albuquerque. Less than 3 months after that happened, my skull was split open by a man with a tire iron. I was beaten like a man, punched, kicked, while I lay on the ground trying to protect myself. I weighed 123 pounds. I'm 5'9". I was skin and bones. I couldn't defend myself from that person. If you're gonna put me through things against my will, show your face. What you're doing is the definition of coward. What you're doing is the definition of loser. I don't like you. I don't think you have a place in the world. Anyone who does the shit that's been going on with me. I mean, who the fuck sits at their computer waiting on another human being to create something so that they can destroy it? Who does that? Who does that? Why are you still breathing air? Understanding the importance of building brand, as well as logistically and practically how to do so, is useless if my efforts continue to be destroyed. In order to be effective at building brand or marketing, your things need to stay up. Your content needs to stay in circulation. Right? You need to be continuously creating new and fresh shit. Whether that's a podcast and a webisode a day, or in the beginning, one a week. Just constant evolution, constant creating. You can't build a brand if you design one t-shirt, create a piece of content to advertise it, go ham, oh my god, that's so 90s. Go balls to the wall, ham, whatever, go crazy, circulating that one piece of content and then never bring it up again. Those are scheme businesses. I don't take part in things like that. The business I build has long-term life and long-term potential. And it will be successful if you get the fuck out of my way. Get out of my way. It's like this. The speed limit is 50. Here's you. And here's me. We're going 40. There are no more lanes. I try going on the sidewalk. That doesn't work. I try going in the bike lane. That doesn't work. I beep nicely. Beep, beep. Excuse me, you're going 15 under the limit. Can you move? You don't speed up. I be patient. 7 miles, I'm going 15 under the speed limit, stuck behind you. Get the fuck out of my way and let me pass. Move. Again, understanding how to build brand, how to market brand, how to be successful is useless if every single effort taken is destroyed. It's useless. So, as part of Xavier and I GoPro Solo, separate from the Coco show, the webisodes, the podcast. There's another thing. So I was doing a behind the scenes, only on OnlyFans, of Xavier and I. Nothing sexual, just us, our trip to Iowa. Was it Iowa or Ohio?
Iowa.
We walked from, what beach was it? Oak Street Beach, with the intention on not stopping until we received ended up at the Pacific Ocean. Halfway there, halfway to across the state of Illinois, we found out I was pregnant with twins. Very sad time after that. The twins passed away. I went into preterm labor at 18 weeks. I've just been battered. I've been beaten. I've been passed around. I've been battered. I've gone through everything and anything that you could possibly go through, and I'm over it. I want to build. But we were halfway across the state of Illinois, 250 miles down, and we found out I was pregnant. And I was taking Snapchats. For anyone who uses Snapchat, you know how it goes. You create a little snippet of your day, video or photo, and then you can save your story over a 24-hour period. So I was posting to OnlyFans in 24-hour periods by creating my stories on Snapchat and using that to cross-reference whatever, but putting the entire 24-hour period of anything funny, cute, interesting, whatever, onto this platform. They took it all down. The exact same thing they did with my SoundCloud, they did with my OnlyFans. And it had a balance, money on there. They won't let me take out. So I've earned on every single platform that allows you to earn. I've had every job that they make. I'm educated in all areas, and I've been relentless since 2016. We're in 2023. What excuse could you possibly have for continuing to fuck up my life? Who are you? What the fuck do you want? What do you want? Six in-person attempts. That doesn't include all the electronic attempts. 6 in-person attempts at petitioning the court of the state of Illinois for a court date. If you go to one Heather GEE on Instagram, it's on video. If you go to HLG Forever _ a second attempt is on video. Me walking into the courthouse, filing the petition and having the stamped petition in my hand. They still have not given me a court date. More than 200 phone calls after those papers filed. No response. No one has any response. Thousands of emails to the court system. No response, not one, not a single one. Or an automated response saying someone will be in contact, and then no one contacts me. This is going on since 2020. You won't let me see a judge. You look the other way while I'm used and abused and beaten. You unlawfully evict me 2 times. You unlawfully detained me 4 or 5 times. Once in a psychiatric ward where I was discharged with, quote, no diagnosis, relationship stress, causality. You don't say. So you put me in a psych ward where I witnessed a whole bunch of horrific events taking place. I saw people being abused, forced medication they didn't need. It was terrifying. I went around collecting signed HIPAA forms from all of the caregivers, family members of the people I saw being abused inside. Wrote up narratives. Took it out with me. They held me 7 days rather than 5. Another federal offense. 5 days. Unless someone has a qualifying diagnosis. I don't. So there's nothing wrong with me. You have unlawfully detained me in every way, shape, and form. It's been proven there's nothing wrong with me. You beat me, you rape me, you steal from me. You rob me of everything I've ever been gifted from my family or earned myself. Again, I'm not an entitled silver spoon child. No one has ever paid my rent but me, and I have been on my own since I was 17 years old. Institutionalized at 14, never having committed a crime. grew up in the system, 14 to 17, 18 years old, got my own apartment, got pregnant, put myself through college, raised my children, worked full time, all alone. No one paid my college. I have loans. No one assisted me in any way. I did it on my own. The only assistance I've received in my life has been with regards to my children. Thank God they have fathers who love them and fathers' families who have helped us. But they always lived with me 4 or 5 days out of the week. Primary custodial parent. What you people have done to me and continue to do to me makes no sense. Not only is it evil and torture and unlawful and immoral, it's not doing any good for me, for my life, for my children, for their life, and I'm pretty willing to bet it's not helping you in any way, shape, or form either. I believe that everyone involved should be held responsible and accountable under the RICO Act. This is domestic terrorism. Removing my ability to make posts, taking down my work, my podcasts, my blog posts, destroying everything that I've created, following me to my home, stealing money, stealing medication, stealing food, breaking in numerous times, sexual assault repeated.
I would say it's daily domestic terrorism.
Every day. There's something going on every day. Whether I acknowledge it here publicly or not. Every single fucking day. My OnlyFans, completely non-sexual platform for Xavier and I to continue to earn income to reinvest into the production company. Stolen, hijacked, it's gone. Every single day. I mean, I still have all the content that I posted over there, but you can't go there and watch it. And there's money there in the account, and they won't let me cash it out. It just... it just doesn't make sense. And like I said, if you're not going to pay me to torture and abuse me, and you're not going to get out of the way while I do my own work and support my own self and make my own companies successful, then get away from me. Just get the fuck away from me. Branding and marketing don't mean shit if someone's following you around, removing your podcasts, removing your online stores, removing your blogs, disassembling your websites. Time and time again, I've proven that not only do I have the ability, intelligence, experience required to get any almost job done, time and time again, whoever's watching chooses not to be of any assistance. And I'm asking, what is it that I have to do if you're not allowing me to earn my own income, self-employed or being employed by someone else? How do you expect me to raise my children? How do you expect me to live my life? What the fuck do you want from me? I'll say it, I've said it before and I'll say it again. When all of the comments are positive and supportive, and then something happens, like the weather changes, and it's nothing but hate, kill yourself, you're crazy, bitch. Any rational person can replay any of the things that I say and hear that they have validity. They're true. I have every right to be concerned about them. Any reasonable human being would be concerned about them. That's never reflected in the commentary. So what's going on here? And who put these people up to targeting me for a 4th year in a row? And how do I make it stop?